This is 6 Minutes, the seriously international daily newscast. It's Friday, May 30th. I'm Emma Albright. It's a warm evening in Osaka, Japan, while the sun is about to rise in a chilly Asuncion, Paraguay. Here in the Worldcrunch newsroom in sunny Paris, it's just after midday. These are the latest headlines. The U.S. warns Russia should accept its Ukraine ceasefire deal. Trump's tariffs will remain in effect for now, an appeals court says. And our daily quiz question is about an unusual soap fragrance. Our top story today is the negative response from Hamas to a U.S. plan for a ceasefire in Gaza, with one senior Hamas official telling the BBC that the plan fails to meet its core demands, including, quote, stopping the war and famine. The official also said the group would continue to study the proposals before giving a formal answer. The Israeli government has not yet commented, but the White House assured that Israel had signed off on the deal, which reportedly proposes a 60-day truce and the release of Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Turning to the Ukraine war, the U.S. told the United Nations Security Council on Thursday that, quote, the deal on offer now is Russia's best possible outcome, and that President Putin should take it. The U.S. is urging Moscow to agree to a comprehensive 30-day ceasefire covering land, air, sea, and critical infrastructure. Our More Than a Minute feature today zooms out and looks at the broader dynamics going on between Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and Xi Jinping. French political analyst and Le Figaro's foreign editor, Philippe Gelie, looks at where the relationship stands today. His editorial for the French daily was translated by Worldcrunch, and the English audio was produced with the help of voice matching technology. Philippe, walk us through how the Trump-Putin relationship has changed.
Avec Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump semble aller de déception.
When it comes to Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump seems to go from one disappointment to the next. The first miscalculation of the dealmaker was believing that a single phone call would be enough to reconcile with the Kremlin's master. Peace in Ukraine would then naturally follow, like a minor issue swiftly resolved by friends making up. Once he realized the matter at hand was more complex, the US president went all in with every possible concession. Ukraine would not recover its lost territories and would remain outside NATO. Echoing Russia's demand for a regime change in Kyiv, Volodymyr Zelensky was thus labeled a dictator and publicly humiliated in the Oval Office. But even that wasn't enough to soften the Tsar. The only gesture asked of him, which wasn't even a concession, was a 30-day ceasefire to initiate negotiations. And it was met with an unprecedented barrage of missiles and drones. Trump plays the part of the irritated, blustering leader, but doesn't follow through on threats of sanctions, nor does he abandon the goal of reconciliation with Moscow. It takes more to impress the Kremlin, where congeniality toward the US president borders on condescension. Trump is described as suffering from emotional overload or simply not sufficiently informed. Having produced nothing but mirages, the White House sheriff is now threatening to pack up and let everybody fend for themselves, which is precisely what Moscow's strongman wants: to reduce America's presence on the old continent, leave Europeans to their own security shortcomings, and isolate Ukraine as easy prey. One cannot but wonder whether the White House semi-newbie has been duped by the Kremlin veteran, or whether there's a mutual understanding, powered by a shared disdain toward Europe. Zelensky fears as much and has voiced his readiness to crash a Trump-Putin summit at his own risk. What the President of the United States doesn't seem to see is that he himself and his country are also the targets of Putin's contempt. From Moscow to Beijing, Trump is seen as a mere accelerator of American decline, which paradoxically explains why he's being spared by those who mean him no good.
Ce qui en fait un homme paradoxalement ménagé par ceux qui ne lui veulent aucun bien.
In other news, a U.S. appeals court in Washington temporarily reinstated the most sweeping of President Donald Trump's tariffs on Thursday. This comes a day after a trade court found the bulk of Trump's duties to be illegal and ordered their immediate suspension. And in South Korea, more than 12 million voters have cast their ballots as of midday on Friday, ahead of the country's upcoming presidential election. This represents more than a quarter of South Korea's 44.3 million eligible voters who will choose who will replace impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol on June 3rd. We're closing things out today with our daily quiz question, which is about an unusual soap fragrance. US actress Sydney Sweeney has partnered with soap brand Dr. Squatch to sell a limited edition line of bars. What is the soap infused with? A. Her hair. B. Her favorite perfume. C. Her tears. Or D. Her bathwater. The answer is D. According to a series of Instagram posts, Sydney's Bathwater Bliss, a limited line of bars infused with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater, will be available next month. This comes after the Euphoria star's viral ad for Dr. Squatch Natural Body Wash, which featured her in a bubble bath. That's the latest from around the world. If you like this podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you could help us out with a follow, share, and a 5-star rating on your preferred podcasting platform. For more of the best of the international press delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com. We'll see you here on Monday. Bon weekend!